Hi, everybody. Welcome to ATX Good News. Our topic today is banking, which is not typically a good news story, but in this case it is. Let me explain. Did you know that checking account fees are really hurting people of color, Blacks, Hispanics, and younger people at disproportionate levels as they try to build financial security? And that's a real burden.
Yeah, it really is. And so, in a very bold move that actually started as a marketing idea, this is some of the marketing from Amplify Credit Union. They became the first full service, full time financial institution in the country to get rid of all of these banking fees. Now, and it's become a mission for this Austin based credit union to really level the playing field for all customers and encouraging other banks to follow suit. So, joining us now with more on this mission is Stacy Armijo, the Chief Experience Officer for Amplify Credit Union. Stacy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this really is a unique marketing plan, and we understand that you kind of brought this to the table for the full team. We want to know kind of what everyone's reaction was at first.
Well, the first reaction was, "Oh, that's funny. Like that's a funny joke. You want to get rid of all the fees? Oh, you must be having a hard day."
Yeah.
and we just couldn't get the idea out of our minds. So where it started was we did some research about what are the drivers for people to change checking and savings accounts. I'm sure you probably know it's a really hard thing to get somebody to change a checking account because it's kind of a pain, right? You got a lot of things tied up
Sure.
into it. And so we were doing some research about how could you get somebody to do that, and fees are what came up. So not a huge surprise. People don't like to pay fees, right? There's no blinding flashes of insight in that. But what was telling to us, what was really motivating to us was why people don't like to pay fees. It's not because they can't afford fees. It's because they feel like fees are unfair. So there's so many hidden fees in banking of, I have a free checking account. Why am I getting a fee? Oh, well, you did 6 transactions instead of 5. So yeah, it's like, wait, really? That's why I got this fee, and not to mention all of the other fees. And so we're having a discussion about it and said, what if we just didn't have them? What if we got rid of all of them? And it started as a joke. People thought it was a joke, and then just kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it. And we looked into our business and we started looking at specifically who's paying fees, as you mentioned. And that is really when what started as a marketing idea became a mission for us, because we realized we don't want to make money this way. We don't want to make money knowing that the people who are most impacted by fees are those who have the least opportunity to pay for them. If you've got big balances, you're not going to get fees anywhere. And is that really the kind of financial institution that we want to be? That is not who we want to be. And so we spent years transforming our business to get rid of them.
So, Stacy, I want to drill down on this because I was kind of surprised at the true disproportionate level that people of color and younger people are paying for fees. How has this happened? Why is it happening?
I think the why behind this, I think, is a huge question. What is it that is making this happen for us, and why are these particular populations most impacted? I think in part it has to do with access. So if you don't have access to as many of the traditional financial institutions that have a wide variety of ways to avoid these fees, then you're going to pay more of them. There are a fair number of financial institutions out there that create, I'm going to call them traps to fall into, where you are more likely to end up paying fees. And we looked at our business and said, we can do this better. The way that we think about it is we want to be fee for service, not fee for failure. And so there's ways in our business that we can deliver services and we can generate income that don't have to be at the expense of the person that we're trying to serve.
Okay, now we're talking every fee, right?
Yes.
Checking fees, overdraft fees. What about those?
Yep, don't have them
What
anymore.
about
Zero.
ATM fees?
No, ma'am. No ATM fees. We will even reimburse our members who get charged an ATM fee by another bank. So let's say you go to an ATM that's not one of ours, and that machine there has a fee that you have to pay. We will reimburse up to $12 a month for any member who has $1,000 on deposit at each month, because we don't think that that's right. That's not value driven. And when we say fee free, we really mean fee free. So we still have all the same services. We still have overdraft protection. It's just now free. You can still send a wire transfer. It's just now free. You can still get a statement. It's just now free. All of the things that you're used to having to pay for in terms of banking, we have what we call our schedule of no fees. And it's been interesting because getting people to believe us has been a little bit challenging.
Yeah, I can
Really?
imagine. It is kind of hard to believe, but what about your bottom line here? How has this hurt you?
So it sounds like this is a terrible financial decision, right? Like, who are the crazy people that thought you could still run a financial institution without having this revenue stream that has been part of banking for millennia? This is actually a positive to our financial results. And there's a way that this is true. One is you do right by your customer, you're going to do well as an organization. And so figuring out how to do that, I take as our job, not our customer's job. But specifically, there's two ways that we're offsetting the fee income that we're giving up. One is, not surprisingly, we're getting a lot more interest in new member accounts. So this is starting to get some traction. People are starting to know about it, and they're starting to come and say, "Oh, okay, I want to be part of that." And what we're finding is it takes a few times for people to know. So you say it first. You say, "Oh, we don't have fees," and they say, "Oh, yeah, my institution does something kind of like that." And then you say, "No, here's what we really mean by that." And they say, "Huh, that's interesting." But they aren't always motivated because, like we said, it's a pain to change your checking account. But then they'll get a fee on their account and they realize, like, hey, why did I get this fee that I wasn't expecting? And now they know they have a choice where that would never happen to them. It is not possible that could ever happen to them on a checking account at Amplify Credit Union. And so then they go to the work. So it's taken us some time. That's what in the industry we call that core deposits. Checking and savings accounts are called core deposits. We're getting more core deposits. When you get more core deposits, you earn more income off of the loans that you make, because you're paying less in terms of the funding for those. So that's one way how we're making more money. There's something else called interchange income. So every time you swipe a debit or a credit card, the merchant you swipe it at, so if I go swipe my card at Joe's Coffee, then Joe's Coffee pays the institution that holds my card anywhere between 15 and 25 cents for that swipe. So to be able to accept credit cards. And so we are activating more checking accounts, which means we have more active debit cards, which means people are swiping more often. So we are able to earn more interchange income. And that's income that we can earn not off the backs of our members. That is value-driven income because that merchant wants to have business from somebody who's coming in and swiping their debit cards. So between those two sources, we're actually coming out net positive on a financial basis for the organization.
So it has been good for the bottom line. I'm wondering bigger picture, because as you said, this started as a marketing plan and now it's become a true mission for you guys. What are you hoping happens to the Austin marketplace when it comes to financial institutions, and maybe the financial institutions across the country? Are you hoping people follow suit? What would be your pie in the sky goal with all of this?
So counterintuitively, my goal for this is that we lose this as a competitive advantage. So right now, this is a competitive advantage for Amplify Credit Union. And anybody who wants to go to an institution that is safe from any kind of banking fee ever, we are the only place they can go to get that. I don't want that to be true. I want this to be an industry where we only make money when our customer wins. And banking is funny that way, to where a lot of times for the institution to make money, the customer has to lose. It doesn't have to work that way. There is a better way for the industry to be aligned that actually supports our community and that supports financial inclusion.
So it's so wonderful that an Austin-based credit union is leading the pack on this, and you're already seeing the ripple effect. So thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate the fact that this really is a way that we can find financial inclusion and also level the playing field. Stacy Armijo, Chief Experience Officer for Amplify Credit Union. We sure appreciate you sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
And we want to remind everybody to share your good news stories with us here at ATX Good News. Check out the email at the bottom of the screen there, atxgoodnews@gmail.com. Pretty easy to remember. Please go ahead and send it to us. Any pictures, video you want to send about good news happening where you are. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.
And be sure to share this interview with your network. Make it a great day.